Hey everybody, welcome back to another Kangaroo Math video. I'm sorry for not being too good with timing of these videos. It's been a lot of work recently because I'm finishing up school, all my work is coming in, and I started a job recently, so it's been taking a lot of time. Again, it doesn't really matter to you guys because I'm gonna still try as hard as I can to get these videos in. In terms of ending them, I don't really have a set end date because again, this is for my Math Kangaroo students from my club at McVeigh Elementary School. But I think when school ends, that's kind of when I'll start shifting off, just because you guys are going to enjoy your summers. But if you want me to keep doing, let me know. I will keep doing them. And again, as usual, link below, you'll get the question. You can do it there. And I have it here. This isn't the full question, of course. It's just the equation, because I think it's easier to look at it like that. And yeah, let's get into it. So what we have here is ABC CBA is equal to DDDD. Now, the question itself asks us to find B. So, let's think about this, right? We have these numbers make these, right? What does that mean? If you have a number 1 plus 1, and you get 1, right? So that means C plus A is 1, then you get 1. But since C plus A is 1, that means A plus C is 1. But it's not, because there's two numbers there. Well, when you have two numbers there, let's say it's like 7 plus 4. What does that give us? 11. So that means that if you have 2 here, A plus C is something bigger than 10, right? It has to be bigger than 10 because there's 2 of those numbers. Now, since we know A plus C is bigger than 10 and C plus A is the same thing as A plus C, that means this is bigger than 10. But then why is there only one digit? Well, because if you have 29, 28, right? 29 plus 28. When you do 9 plus 8, you get 17, right? You put the 7 here, and then you bring the 1 on top. That is the rule. That's what we're going to do. So that means that here, this is plus the tens of D. And that means if D is 11, then 1 goes there, because 1 is in the tens place. So that's what goes on top above B. So now we need to find DDDD, right? Well, let's think. If all of these numbers D are the same, what can it be? It could be 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 3, and so on. But what we know is A plus C is equal to a 2-digit number. So 11, 22, 33. Now, we also know A plus C are 1-digit numbers. So what's the biggest number A can be? 9, right? Because it's 1 digit. What's the biggest number C can be? Well, since 9 is taken, 8. Now it's 9 plus 8, 17. That's the biggest number they could be added to together. Because the biggest A can be is 9, the biggest C can be, and vice versa. So this can be 8, this can be 9. But that's the biggest. So what does that mean? Well, it can't be 33. It can't be 22. So the only option is 11. Which means every single letter of D is 1. So now we have 1, 1, 1, 1. Now, we know C plus A is 1, right? That's what this tells us. But what do we have here? Plus the tens of D. Now, in order just to make this clear, let's say C plus A is 1. The only two things you can add to make 1 are 0 and 1. Can we have 0 for any of the digits? No, because if C is 0, then C here is 0. And that's not possible because it's the first number, and the first number can't be 0, otherwise it wouldn't be the first number. So that means that won't work. But we know this is the tens of D. So C plus A is equal to something 1, because we add the tens of D there. And we also know A plus C is 11. So that means this has to be 11. So we put the 1 there, and that means this is plus 1. Plus 1, right? So now we know that B plus B plus 1 is equal to 1. That doesn't work, though. If you take away the 1, you make B plus B is 0. But that can't work, right? So let's say we put that placeholder here again. Well, the only number that's possible is 1, right? Because the max here would be 18, right? 9 plus 7, 9 plus 8 plus 1, that's the max, and that's 18. So it can't be 21, so it has to be 11. Now because of that, we get b plus b is equal to 10, which makes b equal to 5, right? That's what that makes it. Now, let's put in 5 for that. We have a, 5, c, 5, a, right? So a plus c is 11, bring the 1 up, 5 plus 5 is 10, plus 1 is 11, bring the 1 up, and then we have to bring the 1 up again. Well, you know a plus c is 11, right? That showed us here. So a plus c is 11, but plus 1 is 12. That's not 1, 1, 1, 1. That doesn't work. No, it doesn't. And why is that? That is because we added this plus 1. So that means these two, b, they have to give you something that's less than 10. They have to, because you can't have that plus 1. So when we did that before, we had b plus b is equal to, 1 plus b is equal to 1. So let's take this 1 away, right? Let's take it away. That means we take it away here, minus 1, minus 1. And the reason we do this to both sides is because if you do something to both sides, it stays the same. If I have 2 hands and I cut off this finger, if I cut off this finger, it'd stay the same. They'd look exactly the same. And I know that's a bit drastic, but it's the same thing with this. If I cut off one of the ones and I cut out the other, it's the same equation. So that leaves us with b plus b is equal to 0. So b plus b is equal to 0. What only 2 numbers can you add to make 0? 0. So that means 0 plus 0 is equal to 0. And that means that b is now 0. So we have a, 0, c, and then c, 0, a is equal to 1, 1, 1, 1. Now why can we have 0 in there? Well, you've heard of the number 100. You've heard of the number 102. You can have a 0 in between, you just can't have a 0 starting a number. So c plus a is 11, right? So 1 plus 1, 0 plus 0 is 0 plus 1 is 1. A plus c is 11. It works perfectly. And the question again was, what is b? So that means b here is 0. Now that was really tricky because it was a question that involved us to think outside the box a lot. Because who would have thought you could have had 0 there? You know, when I'm thinking of this, I'm like, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I even went for a 5 before 0. And I bet a lot of you guys did too. That's because these questions want you to think outside of what you would normally think. And it's tricky because sometimes they want you to not do that. And it gets into you, but you have to focus. As long as you focus, you will know. And as long as you practice doing questions like I'm doing, you will know as well. So again, I hope you enjoyed and have a nice day.